Lightsabers are perhaps one of the most diverse weapons in modern pop culture, being iconic enough to be instantly recognizable while still having enough individuality and personality to be unique to each respective user. With the incredible diversity of hilts and blade styles as well as colors cropping up in the past 40 years, perhaps the most iconic distinction between sabers is this blade color. While blue and green are typically the standards for members of the Jedi Order and the Sith wield iconic crimson blades, multiple other colorations have surfaced over the course of Star Wars' lifespan. Arguably the most recognizable, aside from the premier trinity, is the yellow blade, used primarily by Jedi Temple guards. But while each of the aforementioned blade colors has a specific meaning to the wielder, the significance of a yellow blade is not explored as often as other colors. So what is the significance of a yellow lightsaber blade? What does it mean, and who was it most often used by? Stick with us, weary travelers of the galaxy, and let's explore this idea today. A lightsaber crystal's color, and consequently the color of the blade, was most indicative of an individual's connection with the Force, and could manifest any number of different colors or hues in accordance with the wielder's particular connection to the Force. Blue often signified a Jedi Guardian, who utilized the Force as a physical means of conflict resolution, and green signified a consular, who opted to study the intricacies of the Force and assess the more spiritual connection that the Force had with its wielders. While yellow was primarily used by the Temple Guards on Coruscant, the Jedi who became known for their yellow blades often found a sort of balance between these two sides, the sides of a Guardian and a consular, and were commonly known as Jedi Sentinels. These sentinels balanced their physical combat prowess with their scholarly pursuits, honing both sets of skills, while many of the Jedi of this era opted to pursue a specific focus in one area of study or another. The predominant user of a yellow lightsaber that we see in canon is Rey, and though she only displays the blade to a final few moments of her trilogy's closing, given what we know about her character, this seems to make sense and remain consistent with what we know about yellow blades. We know that she has devoted much of her time to studying combat under both of the Skywalker twins, and though her combat prowess is not as advanced as many of the masters with more formal training, her willingness to learn and pursue the art of physical combat is prevalent. This desire and will likely served a significant role in her practice of manifesting her own unique Kyber crystal, and her affinity and willingness to partake in physical conflicts without hesitation could have served as one of the premier reasons why her crystal manifested a yellow coloration. Rey also is an avid scholar, as she steals the ancient Jedi texts from Master Luke Skywalker and studies them in great depth, coming to learn more about the mechanics of the Force in order to become more attuned with it as a whole, and hone her natural mastery of the Force as it stands with her powerful lineage as a Palpatine. The art of Force healing went largely underutilized in the decades leading up to the rise of Skywalker, and this scholarly mind and willingness to study in great depth likely helped her utilize her already powerful connection with the Force in order to channel the newfound ability. Despite yellow lightsabers showing up more frequently in Legends material, we do have other hints as yellow lightsabers being used by Jedi beyond Rey and the Temple Guards of the Clone Wars in canon. One of the few other examples of a yellow lightsaber in canon. Recent behind-the-scenes promotional material for the third season of The Mandalorian seems to show none other than Grogu constructing his lightsaber, and at the center is a bright yellow crystal. Though Grogu is not an avid speaker, we do know a considerable amount about his background, and given what we know about yellow lightsabers, we are also able to surmise much of his personality and the evolution of his character going forward. Grogu is one of the most worldly characters in modern Star Wars, having lived through the collapse of the Republic, the rise and subsequent fall of the Empire, and now the dawn of a new age of Jedi Knights under the tutelage of Master Skywalker. Needless to say, he has likely already learned a significant amount about the world around him, and has experienced life lessons that many characters of his generation have not before ever even been hinted at, and Grogu has done all of this before ever hitting the prime of his life. The glimpse at a yellow lightsaber also indicates that he will likely pursue an affinity for physical combat, likely as a direct result of having been largely defenseless for most of his life. Throughout the course of his 50-year lifespan, he has been handed off from one prominent figure or faction to another with little ability to decide his own path, or defend himself from enemies who would seek to capture him. It was a miracle that he escaped the Jedi siege, and the mystery surrounding how he did so still remains a lingering question to this day. Throughout the course of the events of The Mandalorian, he shows some defensive and offensive capabilities, but is mostly reliant on Din Djarin for his protection, seeking the means to finally be able to defend himself, and not having to rely on others for his defense would likely encourage Grogu to learn the art of lightsaber combat and have a weapon by by his side to finally be able to decide his own path in life, warding off attackers and being able to defend himself against any threat. Now, he will no longer need to be reliant on Din Djarin, nor will he be forcefully handed between factions against his will, as he will finally have the means to defend himself without sacrificing his wisdom in scholarly pursuits. While this may imply that Grogu is on the course to becoming a Jedi Guardian and wielding a blue lightsaber, we must understand the differences between Luke's order and the Order of the Clone Wars in the days of the Republic. The era of the Republic stifled individuality and personality, often guiding Padawans down one of these two predetermined paths. Luke's order, however, is much more flexible and individualistic, allowing his students to pursue the paths that fit their own individual capabilities and trajectories instead of only offering them two options. This could allow Grogu to pursue the art of education and come to learn about the greater universe as a whole, while still arming himself against the threats of external physical forces. This balance is most likely what led to the manifestation of a yellow blade, and Grogu's emotional maturity that he's garnered as a result of his vast life experience might have informed the coloration of his blade, that again we see in the promotional material. Seeing this yellow blade in Grogu's hands come to life on the big screen, however, still is yet to be seen, and with any luck, this will be a dominant plot point of The Mandalorian Season 3. But again, this remains to be seen. But anyway, my friends, what do you think of these yellow-bladed lightsabers? Would you like to see yellow sabers become more common in Star Wars? And if so, who do you think could feasibly wield a yellow blade, knowing what we do now? As always, my friends, thank you guys so much for watching the channel and your continued support on the channel. It means the world to us over here. As always, may the Force be with you, and have a great day.